Today we are celebrating the African Road Safety Day to commemorate the victims, but it's also the UN Day of Remembrance for road safety or road accident victim. This year, the government of Ethiopia, through the Ministry of Transport, has collaborated with the African Union Commission and the ECA to organize the event in Addis Ababa. I think the turnout has been impressive. We had a walk earlier in the morning, and just a few minutes ago, we had a high-level session focusing on the victim. What actions can we take to help survivors of road accident? I think to know the actions to take, you first have to understand the challenges that the victims face. And we had the opportunity to hear from the victims. And you could categorize the challenges that they face. One is income. It's loss of income. As a result of accidents, they cannot go to work. Most of them are breadwinners of their families. And so this is a serious challenge that compromises efforts to reduce poverty on our continent. Two is the whole issue of health. Because of the physical injuries that they undergo, it's a big challenge for the victims. But also there's psychological problems. Imagine that you were working and suddenly you can no longer work. It's a psychological issues. And one of the challenges that they face, they don't have sufficient counseling facilities in Ethiopia and in Africa in general. Now, with these problems that have been identified by the victims themselves, what can be done? We've had the opportunity to hear from the African Union, from WHO, and the Ministry of Transport what actions they are taking. I think for the WHO, it's important to stress the efforts they are making in post-crash care across the world. And in places like Kenya, they have implemented this kind of project. I think the whole issue is to scale this up to as many African countries as possible. I think WHO is also assessing the degree of readiness of countries from a health perspective to deal with victims, which is a good thing. Now, related to the African Union, we've heard today that the African Road Safety Charter is about to enter into force. We need 15 countries before the charter could go into force. And now we have been told the good news that Mozambique would be the 15th country. Once this happens, we can begin to implement the African Road Safety Action Plan that is structured around 5 pillars. But most importantly, and related to the victims, there's post-crash care. And I think we need resources. And with the ratification of the African Road Safety Charter, it provides a platform to mobilize resources within the continent and from partners to take care of the victims. Now, finally coming to Ethiopia, what the government is doing to reduce the problem of the victims. We heard the State Minister of Transport telling us about digitalization of the whole process. So the third-party insurance, you now have to do it online. The policies and even the claims, they have to be done online. What does this mean? It means that it speeds up the process. And beyond speeding up the process, the government has already taken steps to increase the compensation that is given to the victims, not only for material damage, but also to the personal health issues that they have. I live here fulfilled that the objectives that we set for ourselves for this event have been met.